plans at once, because I would have laughed if he told me that when we were leaving Ecuador, that this is what I'd be doing. But it's a huge blessing in disguise, and I'm really enjoying it. So anyways, let me get to the point and let you know about this need for reliable, safe transportation for these families and these children in Ecuador to the church in Pacoche. So I've shared some some pictures recently of what is happening and how the kids are, and primarily moms and the kids are getting to the church activities. And if you haven't seen those, I'll share them again with the video. But basically, my dad and the pastor both have trucks, just regular pickup trucks, and they load people in the cab and in the back of this truck till it is far beyond capacity. And they ask the moms to sit up on the edge so that the kids aren't on the edge, and then the kids try to pack down in the bed of the truck as safely as possible. And not only is this unsafe and like paved normal roads, but they are driving off onto bumpy dirt roads along the way as well. And this isn't a real short trip, or else they wouldn't even need to get in the truck. They would just walk. But this is several miles for many of them, because this town, Pacoche, is a really sprawling fishing village. It's near the coast, and one of the neighborhoods or towns nearby that they pick up, and it's right on the coast. But they have to drive several miles to fill the truck, and that means that there are people for miles around that want to come, and we want to get them there and give them an opportunity to be there. But this is increasingly becoming a bigger and bigger problem. So my dad shared that at one point I think they had 55 people in Fabian's truck, which is just crazy. That's about like how many kids I have on this bus, and it's huge and really long, like 40 feet long, and his truck is like 6 or something. So if you can imagine all these seats filled and then stuff them in the back of a pickup truck instead of in my safe high seat bus. So anyways, obviously this isn't necessarily promoted even in Ecuador, and I know people say, well, it's another country, they can do things that way. But my dad shared that they will load it up to where it's full but not at the seams, and then pass the police, go drop the kids off, then go back into town, get some more kids, and then head back to the church. And so obviously the police know what they're doing, and they're letting them do it, and they're trying to be as safe as they can about it. But we need to find a better way for them. So that's why it's so important that we get them a van. And this van will serve as transportation for Fabian and Graciela and their family, because their truck that they have is kind of like a money pit. It's always needing repairs, which aren't cheap. The tires on the truck are super expensive, several $100s a piece for these tires on his truck, and because of the conditions, he goes through tires like crazy. So it really is a good financial investment for the church and their family. This van would also provide opportunities to take people into the city, which is like a 45-minute drive right now, because they don't have public transportation that just swings by and picks them up. There's not like reliable taxi services because they're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. But this would just provide such an opportunity to give them opportunities for work as well. And Fabian does have his public transportation license, so he's able to drive a vehicle that size with that many passengers. So that's great, and it could even provide some further income for the church and for their family if he's able to utilize the van for business purposes. And that could take care of the cost of repairs and things like that. So it really has a lot of potential. So anyways, I feel like I've talked for way too long now, 6 minutes. And but I just want to share this need and why it is a need, and it's not a luxury by any means. It's really just a necessity to get these kids and families to church and church activities, and to give them further opportunities in the city. And because more and more kids want to come, but there is no more room in those trucks. And the trucks are, at least Fabian's, is falling apart. So if you would just pray about it and consider giving a gift of 25 or 50, or if you can give more, but together we can build this truck, and we can, or this van, and we can make it happen, and you can be a part of that. And I just think that God has such a big plan and such a great future for this community, and we have already seen the fruit of that with Fabian and Graciella's work over the last 17 years in this community. And this would just bring them to that next level. And just I can't even imagine, just as I couldn't imagine becoming a bus driver, I can't even imagine what God has planned and what God has in store for this community. But I believe that we're a part of the puzzle, and we can make that happen, and we can be part of that future. So thank you guys for giving. Thank you for everyone who's already given. We're already over halfway there, and it's a big, hairy, audacious goal that Fabian and Graciella and that community, I'm sure they cannot even imagine looking at $40,000 and putting it toward one vehicle. But that is the cost of vehicles in Ecuador. They're just expensive. But they have faith, and so do I, that we can make this happen, and you can be a part of it. So thank you so much for giving and taking the time to watch this video. Thanks so much, everyone.